There are only two man-made objects you can see from outer space. One is the Great Wall of China, and the other is Southern California's Salton Sea. One is the result of the work of hundreds of thousands of laborers over 2,000 years, and the other is the result of a gigantic mistake. I am set and ready to go. This is the Great Wall of China and the Salton Sea, Monuments, Missteps, and the Audacity of Ambition podcast. I'm Russell Rathbun.
And I'm Jonathan.
And I have a book coming out on January 17th from Erdman's, The Great Wall of China and the Salton Sea, Monuments, Missteps, and the Audacity of Ambition. Ask me what this podcast is about.
So this is our second episode. What is this podcast about? I like that.
Yeah, that's what the publisher says it's about, just me and my cheeky wit and sharp insight.
I would have to say, I know you personally, you are cheeky and sharp.
Yeah. Yes. One thing that we like to do on this podcast, or I thought would be good, when I have this book coming out, I thought, let's let everybody know about it, but I just don't want it just to be about me. I thought, let's call up some local independent bookstores, different places in the country, and just say, hey, I got this book coming out, and I want to tell people if they live in Lincoln, Nebraska, or, Oswego, Texas, to go buy it at your bookstore. So tell me about your bookstore.
That's a nice thing about doing this again, the second time. Thanks for your responses on the first episode. We were trying to figure out the order of how it would work. Yeah. And this is my favorite segment, by the way. And it's actually the most difficult because you don't know how somebody is going to respond.
Well, I thought they would be like, they thought they would be like, wow, you're the best person in the world. That's so nice of you to do this. And
then it occurred to you.
We've just been waiting around here in Mulvaney, Idaho, for you to promote us.
Mulvaney. And then it occurred to you that they just made a double short latte, and they're trying to ring this guy up, who's returning something.
Yeah. It's almost as if they don't know that the world is about me.
How odd.
Yeah. So we didn't have much luck last week calling anybody.
Let's give it another try.
Let's give it another try and call this here. You know what? How about this great? There's this great bookstore in Madison, Wisconsin. Let's call them up and see what they have to say. A Room of One's Own.
A Room of One's Own in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay, but I do have to tell you, we did re-record this before, and this didn't go so well, but can you play that? I know the sound quality is not as good, but play the result of our second attempt.
The Room of One's Own.
Hi, is this a Room of One's Own bookstore?
It is.
I am wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your bookstore. I'm looking for an independent bookstore in Madison.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
You're an independent bookstore. How long have you been around?
We are. So the bookstore opened in 1975.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been a couple different locations. We just moved to this location we're in now about 4 years ago and kind of expanded. So we have originally started out as a feminist bookstore and now carry more general titles, and we have new and used books too.
Oh, and you have used books too?
Yeah.
I like that. Like I went to at Powell's, in Portland, that great independent bookstore, where they just have the used shelved with the new books.
Yes, that's how we do it here. If we have used copies, they're on the shelf where they would go with new ones.
I think that's fantastic. And is it a big bookstore?
It is, actually, yeah.
Well, I should totally check it out because I'm going to come through there. And I like to only shop at independent bookstores.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely come and check us out. When are you going to be in town?
I'm going to be coming through there after the holidays.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 All right.
We're right downtown. We're just off of State Street. So
just off of State Street. All right. I know right where that is.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So I like how that went. I mean, you know.
I mean, I can't really use it, and I do feel bad. I mean, I should call her back and tell her that I lied to her, and
You're not going to be in Madison, are you?
Not anytime soon. No, but also,
but your book will.
I hopefully it will. And again, she's probably not. This isn't probably on her mind a lot.
I'm guessing no.
Yeah. Audacity. The audacity.
The audacity of ambition.
Yeah, that I know. And then what I do next is every week, okay, now it's time for an excerpt. I'm going to read an excerpt from The Great Wall of China and the Salton Sea, Monuments, Missteps, and the Audacity of Ambition.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Of all the legendary man-made objects you can see from outer space, the Great Wall of China is the original, the benchmark, the inceptive claim. From the distance of history and geography, time and space, I had seen the wall. I had seen photographs and documentary films. I had read about it in textbooks, novels, short stories, and news magazines. In fact, I had been obsessed with the wall and all things Chinese since I was a teenager, but from a distance. I was only seeing ideas about the Great Wall, which are important but abstract. Seeing things from a distance is about thinking, which I love to do, but seeing things up close is a fully sensual way of considering a something, a someplace. It is smelling and hearing and touching, looking close and running a finger along a crack to understand where it starts. I was impressed that the Salton Sea and the Great Wall of China are visible from outer space, but I longed to know them up close. And finally, after years of dreaming about going to China, I actually got the chance to do it. Through a nursing exchange at my wife's Jeannie's school, we had found a semi-affordable way to make the trip with our two kids, Maria and Joe. They had been going to a Chinese language immersion school for 6 years, and we wanted them to be able to try speaking Chinese in a Chinese-speaking country. We had a plan. Jeannie would go to school during the day while the kids and I explored. When she completed her class, we would travel for 3 weeks after that. I was excited to see the Great Wall and immerse myself in the culture that Qin Shi Huangdi created when he unified the Seven Kingdoms, and to see how that unity was translated by way of Mao into contemporary communist China. That first night, after a long drive from the airport, we arrived at Huzhou University housing. Unfolding ourselves from the van, we dragged our luggage onto the sidewalk in front of the modernish state architecture-styled structure, think Soviet bloc. The one glass door that wasn't missing said, "Doors locked between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Our apartment was on the top floor of a 9-story building near the center of campus. The English sign in front calls it the Expert Building, designating it for visiting scholars, foreign teachers, and students. But the people here didn't look very foreign or very scholarly. As we made our way to the elevator, a naked man, the building manager, we later learned, stepped out of a room by the stairs, looked at us, scratched himself, and went back inside. He lived in the room behind the front desk, apparently with 2 women. There was a sheet stretched across the middle of the room to separate the bed from the, other part. I was no longer seeing China from a distance. This was up close. Too close. Too soon. We finally got our bags unpacked in our small apartment and started settling in. But 4 hours after my wife and I had put the kids to bed, Maria woke up crying. She was scratching and wailing that something kept biting her. That woke all of us, and we all started itching. None of us went back to sleep. As the sun was coming up, Jeannie went next door to get the director of the nursing exchange program. He brought a flashlight and stripped the beds and examined the mattress. Bed bugs. I went out on the balcony of the 9th floor of the Expert Building and watched Huzhou come out of the darkness. In the near distance, I saw a small mountain and could make out the Buddhist monastery I had read about. Then, as the early sun brought the rest of the city to light, I saw tower cranes, 7, 12, 20 tower cranes, one-footed, plunged into an endless city of shining towers and crumbling buildings. People emerged, seemingly from the soil. Then came the food carts, scooters, and bicycles as a market materialized on the high street below. Loud, blunt-edged voices and rancid smells reached me as the morning light came full. And now I could see a vast city covered in a patina of coal dust and cooking oil. I felt faint and put my hand on the balcony rail. It was sticky. I realized this was no longer Mao's communist China. It was Deng Xiaoping's China, and I might have really over-romanticized what this trip was going to be.
Sounds like you did.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Really, I mean, you expect a soft landing, and here you were.
Yeah, I mean, you think about
armpit.
this thing, and I like to travel, and I don't mind discomfort, but it was like China is kind of like discomfort all the time. I mean, you've traveled a lot, and
we spent the summer in Bucharest, and yeah, same plan.
Super
During
interesting,
the day,
kind of
have
hard.
fun with the kids, and how it unraveled was a little different.
Yeah. This is The Great Wall of China and the Salton Sea, Monuments, Missteps, and the Audacity of Ambition podcast. The book is coming out January 19th from Erdman's. You can pre-order it now. You can go pre-order it from your local independent bookstore if you like, or wherever pre-ordering books is possible.
Well, that's been really good. What is the thing you usually say at the end of the show?
Tune in next week because we're going to do it great.
We are.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, that's 2 down, huh?